I messed up the mapping from the Facebook form to the high level. Like it probably cost us $50,000 to $70,000 in revenue.
Oh, wow. How do you get more out of the leads you have right now? Because that's going to be the easiest source. They already know you, like you, trust you. It's proven. You got 400 and however many 5-star reviews. It's like, how can you get more out of that?
Just being willing to like understand that, hey, I have way more to learn. Like, why not take it from guys that have already done it? The moment you stop learning, you stop growing.
So how did you kind of like keep your focus just locked in on that? And what does that look like in the future? Could you potentially get into some other things?
I watch a lot of Hormozy, and he talks about like the woman in the red dress syndrome. Like there's always going to be a shiny object. Yeah. So I'd rather be good at 2 or 3 and then just focus on those.
Rick, we appreciate you coming out, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I like to just kind of get going with a little kind of just how I ran into you. But, you know, I think the main thing was like I just said, like I could tell you're a young, sharp guy, but that you're out there hustling because, you know, what you guys are doing with Sunbros, it's not necessarily an easy job. But then I saw your guys' reviews and I'm just like, all right, these guys are hustling because that's not easy. Especially to have as many as you guys have, probably in the 470 range right now, and they're all 5-star. That's tough to do because I mean, dude, it's in the game you're in, it's easy to screw up. You know, it's easy to have someone go outside and be like, you didn't clean this good enough, you didn't do this good enough, whatever. But that's awesome, dude.
Appreciate that. Man.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really stoked to be here. This is cool. So yeah, you DMing me was the first time I really, cause like, I'm in, you know, Cam's group and stuff like that. And I told him I was coming on. Yeah. And he's like, oh, dude, tell him I say what's up. You know, so I looked into like kind of some of the stuff you've built. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you guys and talk, you know, just hang out. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Right on, Matt. Well, I guess that's a good place to start then. How's the 1% club, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's good, man. So one day, like a year ago now, I just DM'd Cam. I said, hey, dude, I'm looking for guidance. Like, I love what you've built. I would love to build something similar or in my own industry. And that's when he was starting the 1% club. He's like, well, I'm starting this thing. Like, if you want to join, it's kind of right up your alley.
Yeah.
So I've been in it for over a year now. And I would honestly say that's part of the reason we've been able to grow at the pace we've been able to grow at is just because like I'm big on don't reinvent the wheel, just see what other works for others and follow the same path. So in home service, and even though our industry is very new, like there's not any big household names for what we do, but a lot of the stuff overlaps in home service. So it's like, how can I just emulate not necessarily what they did, but my own version of it. And that's kind of what I've been focused on. So
tell us what Sunbros does.
Yeah. So Sunbros specializes in bird proofing and solar cleaning, specifically on solar panels. So when a solar system gets installed, if there's not guards on it, it's a matter of time till birds start nesting underneath. So what we do is we go up there, we get all the nests out, clean the roof off, kind of start fresh, put guards on, and then clean the system. This cleaning is mainly for the efficiency side, but it's just kind of like the cherry on top with all the bird debris. So we do like window cleaning and other little bird deterrents, but I would say the bird proofing of solar and then the cleaning is like our bread and butter.
So what gave you that idea? You liked cleaning stuff, like scratch your back or what was your life like leading up to making that decision to start Sunbros?
Yeah, so I will say it is very satisfying taking a roof or a solar system from nasty to like nice and clean, like new again. So I do like that side. Me and my brother are both very detail oriented, but I was selling solar door to door and I had like, we told clients, oh, birds won't get underneath, cause was part of our pitch. And then clearly that wasn't the most accurate statement at the time. So I had clients reaching back out. Hey, I have bird issues. Like you guys said, we weren't going to have these. And at the time I didn't know anyone else in our industry I didn't even know this was an industry. So at GCU, I was doing a project to like kind of build a business. And my original idea was to do a home efficiency company. So we go in, change thermostats, put the right foam in the walls and so, like make the home more efficient. And then my dad actually was like, dude, like that's a lot on startup. He's like, you should find something that's a little bit, one, you already know stuff about and something that you can build without having to go get a ton of certifications, like all this stuff. It's like, okay. And then he told me, he's like, by the way, like I have a guy that I served with that is closing his solar cleaning company. So I said, okay, I kind of just brushed it off because I was selling solar. And in my mind, I was like, I can't make any money cleaning solar. Like I'm going to keep selling it. Yeah. So as that project kind of went along, I then talked to my dad again. I was like, hey, like, let me have that guy's number. I'm just going to call him and talk to him. And then that guy told me he made like 190 grand in a year. And I was like, okay, that's more than I made in solar. So I was like, let me start that. And then, so I made the LLC and stuff. I bought the trailer on seller finance. So the guy had a big equipment trailer that he was like sat on his side of his yard for like a year and a half. And, had everything in it to where like I can literally pull it out of his yard and go to a house and clean. So that trailer was 25 grand. I put down 10 and then seller financed the rest. I made a contract and everything. It was like my first official contract for anything I've done in my life. So I was a little nervous and I told myself, as long as I make $500 a month, I could like afford the trailer payment. So yeah, so I was selling solar during the week. And then instead of skipping the solar houses, I just started pitching cleaning. Hey, I'm going to be out here Saturday cleaning solar. So that's how it started. And when I bought that trailer, it's like a big trailer. You need a 1/4 ton or a 1 ton truck to tow it. I didn't have that. I had a little Tacoma. So my dad would tow me on Saturdays to go clean all these jobs. So me and my brother would switch off. You know, we would book 6-7 cleanings on a Saturday and then switch off and just clean solar every Saturday. We did that for a few months. And then I started doing Friday, Saturday, and I started doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And slowly backed. And then my dad's like, dude, I have a job too, man. I can't keep towing you around. So my grandpa then towed me around for a bit till I had enough cash. I bought a 2001 GMC 2500 long bed,
Nice.
Little workhorse. So that worked for a while. Yeah. And then my brother called me one day and he's like, hey dude, like I'm pressing the gas and it's just not going anymore. Like, dude, like, he's like, I'm on the I-10 right now. And he's like, it's not moving. So I'm like, all right. So,
you know, you're starting a new business.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I went out there and, yeah, the truck was pretty much done. We got it fixed just because I didn't have anything else. And then I went and bought in in March of 2024, I bought our first van. So sold the trailer, actually not too long. I kept the trailer more for like sentimental things. I was like, this started it, I can't get rid of it. But it was just taking up space and I needed the cash to build the van. So I sold that. And then once I got the one van going, I had a guy in the truck. So we had one truck. I wasn't in the truck that much, I would say. I was mainly just trying to build the business at that point. And then we got our second truck that I just used for sales until January of this year. And then now we have another van. So we have 3 trucks running full time right now.
So at what point did it go from being just you to kind of turning into a real business? Like when did you start to realize that it was starting to get traction?
Yeah. So it got to get a lot. Like it started to be a lot because I would basically sell a job and try to do it the next day. And then if we didn't have work, I would go out. So I'd work till, 4 or 5 o'clock on the job. And then I'd go knock doors to try to get a job for tomorrow. And I did that because bird proofings, you only need to do 1 a day, whereas cleanings, you need like 6, 7 of them. So I didn't do bird proofing so we started in July 23. I didn't do bird proofing until January of 2024 because I was afraid I didn't want to mess anything up. I didn't know what mesh to use. I didn't want to install something that wasn't going to last. So I did more like research before I even started that. And then once I started the bird proofing, I was like, okay, now we can do less jobs, but make more off it because it takes a lot longer. So once we started doing more bird proofing, I was like, I can't keep selling all day and then working all day, selling and trying to run the business on top of it. So I hired one of my buddies. I said, hey dude, he worked at Chevy. And I was like, hey dude, like if you're interested, I would love for you to just run the truck with my brother until, we can afford to get a better truck or just kind of get out of this, spot we were in with just the one truck. And then I texted Cam. I DM'd him because I found green mango and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, this looks cool. You think of pest control, you don't think of like something cool. And same with bird proofing and solar cleaning. It's not really a sexy industry.
Right.
So I was like, how can I make it like part of me and what I do on a daily basis, like with the merch and just little stuff like that. Like I wanted to build a brand and that's kind of what kicked it off. I was like, if I have a brand, I'm going to need to, so I made the logo. I was like, okay, this is it. Cause I made Canva. I put a little action figure on a solar panel and that was my logo, like cleaning a solar panel. And then I was like, this isn't cool. Like I would never wear this out to dinner, So I started thinking about the brand side of it. And then I was heavy into the sales side. So I just started selling and then it slowly turned into not a bigger business, but slowly turned into a real business. Like I had to get a CRM. I was using Excel. I was like, and then I'm texting clients every night before their job. Hey, we'll be out there at this time tomorrow, Yep. And then, so I figured out we use Jobber. So I've been on that for over a year now and then got introduced to Go High Level. And so that just kind of slowly, I guess that's a long formed answer to your question, but there wasn't a day where I was like,
long process sometimes. So
there wasn't a day where I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and that. It was more so I started it just to make a living because I was done selling solar. I knew there wasn't a future for me in that. Like I know some guys make a killing in it, but it just wasn't something I saw myself doing for the next 15 years or whatever. So I was like, I want something. And my dad does plumbing. My mom's a hairdresser. So they both were kind of in their own industries, I should say. And I was like, well, let's try this out. And then now we have 8 guys and now there's like no turning back. So my goal is to exit the company in the next 10 years or so, but I want to keep building it until then.
Nice. So how many jobs you guys do in a month right now?
So we're doing 3 a day. So if it's bird guards, we can only do 1 a day. where cleanings we can do, 3 to 5 a day, depending on size. So I would probably say like 50 to 60 a month just depending on the time on job. Cause sometimes it might be 30 jobs, but they're all bird guard jobs. So like it's lower volume, but it's, higher ticket. Whereas cleanings, we can do, 40 cleanings in a week sometimes, just depending on, what it is. So, I would say 40 to 60 is probably the best range I could give depending on what job it is.
Like, what are you doing to grow?
Well, Facebook ads and Google ads, and then we do reoccurring for our solar cleanings. So we'll sell the bird guards, and then I'm like, well, you're going to need them cleaned again. We have this maintenance plan because we do a 10-year warranty on our guards. So I'm like, we're going to come out every quarter or every 6 months. We're going to clean your panels and check our guards. So that's our maintenance plan. So those are starting to stack up, which is nice because now I'm not starting every month at 0, because that was like my biggest stress. Like we'd have a good month and then the first hits and then I have like a ball of stress trying to be like, oh, we got to get all this work, So that's helped. And then just getting in the room with the right people. So like joining the 1% Club, I've joined some other coaching programs too. And that helped me a ton because it showed me that there was light at the end of the tunnel, to be cliche. Like it showed me that there was a future as long as I keep pushing. So yeah, I guess to grow is just, upping the budget on that end, and then yard signs, like as much brand presence as we can. Social media, we took a bigger dive into social media because I was just posting before and after photos getting like 4 likes, So I started making like funny videos, trying to find what's trendy. I use an agency now. I film with them like once a month. So that helps me because I suck at editing videos. So that helped me on that end. But yeah, just trying to just continue. And I think putting pressure on myself, like hiring guys is like, it's not so much about me. Like they need work, they need hours, they have a living too. So that's kind of also forced me to grow, is like, if they don't believe in it, then it's going to be hard for me to believe in it. So like my whole thing is like getting them to believe in the vision. And then with them knowing they're going to go out and do a good job, they care about the business. It allows me to focus on like the systems and the back end stuff that actually propel or gets you to the next step. Yeah. So long form answer, but
yeah. I'm curious about like referrals and stuff too, because I mean, with all your reviews and stuff like that, like how what's the percentage you guys get from referrals?
The percentage is probably anywhere from, I would say 20% comes from for referrals. It's definitely been an increase since we have more trucks now. Like we're in front of more people, so the referrals are increasing. Our referral program, I actually got it from Steven Hunsaker. It's a gift card referral program. So at the end of the job, we give a client, a natural, nice gift card that has their name on it, and it says $50 off. So like, if I did a job for you, you can give him a $50 gift card with your name on it. Mm-hmm. You get a credit. So I'll call you when he redeems the gift card. I call you and I'm like, hey, Rio, do you want a $25 gift card to go out to eat with your family, or would you rather have it off your next service? And then I send him a little thank you card. I did like a handwritten font, but I put a little handwritten message at the end, like, loved meeting your dogs. Like it was a great time at your house or whatever. Thank you so much again for the referral. So yeah, that's our referral program. And then Jobber helps us track it a little bit. I can just put a referral on your account. So no matter who schedules the job, it'll show your referral credit on there. Yeah. So, but yeah, so basically every client gets 2 gift cards, at the end of each job. And then the idea is for them to pass it to friends and family. And most people don't even want the credit or the gift card to go out to eat. They're like, I just want to share your guys' information. I'm like, all right, like, fair enough. Thank you. Yeah. So referrals have been nice. We've been trying to get into more realtors because like buying and selling homes with bird debris is hard. Like a buyer's like, no, I don't want a bunch of bird crap. So we've been doing, like, for 2026 especially, been doing more work with realtors. We're partnered with Harmon, which is a solar company. So they throw us jobs here and there. And then, yeah, just trying to roofers, like I'm just trying to get more, I guess, strategic partnerships in that end. Rather than being so much on the, like, we have to get in front of the client, it's like, well, let's just go to who has our clients already. And, so I've been trying to get more contacts on that end, but yeah, as far as referral goes, it's really that's the only referral program I've really tried. I've had doubts with it too, but it works, but I'm sure there's better out there. And that's one thing I'm focused on right now, is making an improved referral program. I like the gift cards, but I think we're kind of missing the mark on some of the like text, like automation for referrals and stuff like that. Like, we don't send any texts out, which we probably should, but like, hey, like, do you have anyone else that does this? I typically just have the text ask, hey, does your neighbor need the sun and stuff like that. And I started noticing referrals doing better because like 2 weeks ago, we sold one guy from a Facebook ad and we've done 4 other people on his street now. So that one job turned into 4. And I think our branding has a play in that. Our yard, we put a yard sign in his yard and that says like dirty solar, bird problems ? Mm-hmm. And then we have an A-frame out when we're on the job, and we put the A-frame, little bit off the truck, so people kind of have to like drive around it, and just kind of forces them to look at it. And then we do or street signs, I should say, on street corners. We started doing like 150, 200 of those a month, and then the cities got on us, like Glendale got on us, HOAs got on us. So I stopped putting as many out just because I don't want to get like fined or anything. But I'm gonna let that cool off for a bit, and then I have a ton of them in the shop, so I'll probably start putting more of those out eventually. But yeah, just doing whatever we can to get in front of people. So we do car shows and stuff too, like as vendors.
Okay.
Yeah. So because me and my brother are both into cars and classics and stuff like that, so we do a vintage car show every year. And it's like all 50s and 60s, like hot rods. So we set up there, and now the people are starting to know, I saw you guys last year, like you did my friend's house. Like, so that's helped too. And it's just the social proof on that end. So yeah.
What do you think so far has been the biggest hurdle for you guys?
Hurdle?
Yeah.
I would say leads, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I get enough leads to fill one truck, and then it's like, all right, I'll up budget, so now I can fill 2 trucks. And then it's like the point where we're getting 2 weeks booked out, and then the leads drop off. So it's like getting consistent form of leads, which is just me getting better at marketing. I sometimes keep our creative going for too long, which I think that's kind of why. But I'm also procrastinate a lot on what like creative to run. And I think I'm just learning the Facebook side a little bit more, like, cause our ads do well. Like people see them. I have people come up to me because I only run our ads in like a 10-mile radius. So I've had people come up to me, like a guy last night at the gym, say, "Oh, dude, I saw your ad on Facebook." I was like, "Heck yeah, dude, do you have solar?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, well, cool. At least you saw us, you know, it's working." So, I would say that's the biggest hurdle. And then obviously safety is a huge thing. Like all of our jobs are on a roof. So making sure that everyone understands the safety has been huge. And that's something I didn't anticipate when I started, because I was like, oh, if me and my brother know what to do, like we're good. But now having to train, 19, 20-year-old kids on how to operate on a roof, that's been a hurdle. Yeah, I would say those are the 2 biggest hurdles, is just marketing and like making sure we're good on safety and stuff like that. So, because one bad fall can literally shut us down.
That's a lot of liability.
Yeah. So insurance is a lot more expensive than I thought. So when we first got insured, I was like, holy moly, because we're in like the roofers bracket. So we fall into the roofing category plus the solar side. So they had to like build a policy for us. That was a hit. And then obviously workman's comp was expensive. So like those have been more things that I didn't anticipate when I started. But yeah, it's obviously all necessary things you need to have. So it's kind of what it is at this point. So
what do you think is something about your guys' brand? And yeah, that stuff starts to stack up quick. But
yeah.
What's one thing that you guys think that you do that you're unwavering on? You won't compromise with your brand with Sunbros?
I would say the quality side. Like if someone's like, "Hey, can you just clean out the system and not put guards on?" I'm like, no. Like even though like I'll charge you the same, if you want that, I'm going to charge you the same amount just to put that I would to put guards on, because it's a disservice to the client at that point. So I think little stuff like that, because if we just go clean out that system and don't put anything on it, the birds are going to be back within 2 weeks, if that, so little stuff like that, quality customer service, no matter how, like we've had clients, I've had 1-star reviews come in before, but I've made them right, and the people change them back to a 5-star. Like one of our review, if you hit like relevance on our reviews, it's a super long review. He kind of tore us apart for a bit because we forgot to spray something off. And then I went out there, fixed it, and he changed it back to a 5-star and edited the review. And that's why we have we have all 5 stars, but it's not because we've never gotten a 1-star. It's just we've made it right when a bad review does come in. Yeah. And I don't tell people, "Hey, you need to change this." I'm like, "Hey, like if you felt this was resolved, if you can update what you said on Google, fine. If not, I completely understand. Like if, it is what it is." But, and honesty, being transparent in our industry, like the lady's house I was at this morning doing an estimate. She's like, "Yeah, like we have bird guards, but I don't think they're done right." I went up there, there's cracked tiles all over the place, and they had a new roof before that was done. So like whoever was up there cracked, I think there was like 10 or 15 tiles that were cracked, and it's all in like valleys, like where you shouldn't walk on a roof. So you can tell whoever was up there just didn't know what they were doing. So it's just the transparency and the honesty side of it. I will not sacrifice. Like if we mess up something, like that homeowner will be the first one to know, because in a home service industry, word travels way too quick to mess up and not say anything about it.
Reputation's everything.
Exactly. So I would say it all comes down to reputation. Like I will not take a job if it's the safety for our guys is at risk. My brother, a solar system wasn't grounded correctly on Monday. My brother got zapped trying to remove a nest.
Shoot.
And the guy was like, "Well, I still want this done." I'm like, "Dude, you have to get that fixed first." Like I'm not sending guys up there knowing that there's live current. Even with the system off, there was still there was a short in one of the panels. So it was causing like
Your brother's good?
He's fine.
Okay.
Dude, he got electrocuted in his arm and bit by a pit bull in the same day. So
that's how you know you're in home service.
Yeah. And the lady literally texted us, "Don't go in the backyard." My brother's like, "Well, I need to go in the backyard for the water." She goes, "Please don't go in the backyard." Brother walks in the backyard, gets bit by the dog. I'm like, dude, like, did you not see the text? And he's like, dude, I thought it was a small dog, man. It wasn't a small dog. And I was like, dude. But yeah, it's just little stuff like that. But yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You said you'll like get leads from a solar company.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything more like that with other companies? Like do you guys generate leads for other companies?
Like I've generated leads for roofing companies. So like when we go on a roof that like I've turned down jobs just because the roof condition. And yeah, I'll send it to like 2 or 3 different roofing companies. Or if I have one guy that I know does a good job, I'll just send him the contact and I'll let the homeowner know, hey, as far as solar goes, if someone wants an add-on system, because we're not talking to too many people that don't have solar. Yeah. So a lot of our solar leads per se is just people that want add-ons or want their warranty reimbursed or their company went out of business and they need a new warranty or something. So that's where a lot of our referrals from us come from. And I've done like turf cleaning referrals just because like bird poop and turf is, even for us, it's super hard to get out without like an extraction machine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I refer turf cleaning companies, pool cleaning companies, just because a lot of these homes, since they're all cookie cutter, like the pool is so close to the edge of the roof that it's just.
Do you usually tarp it right there?
Yeah, we tarp it, but like you can't. So since there's water, we're using water to clean the system. You can't. It's hard to tarp a pool because then all that water and poop's sitting there, and as soon as you pull the tarp, it's all going to fall in anyway. Right. So we almost build like a little barrier but sometimes it's inevitable, you know. So if a client has like a pool net or whatever, we'll do it. Like I've gotten in pools before to like try to clean them out, or we'll pay to have their pool professionally cleaned. And a lot of them are like, well, we have a pool cleaner. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't a standard pool cleaning. So like if they charge you extra, please let us know. Like we're going to cover that. I've paid HOA fines for people for putting our signs in the yard. So like little stuff like that. Just making sure the client knows they're valued. And that goes back to the other question of like the reputation. What's one thing we won't sacrifice is I want to have a relationship with all of our clients, which is hard as we grow. But if I can't personally have a relationship, then my sales guy that goes out there or the techs, as long as someone can relate and
make a system that is going to maintain that reputation.
Exactly. And make someone's day better at the end of the day is really what we're focused on. Like the guy today, I had 2 estimates this morning. The second guy I went to, I didn't close him, but he's like, dude, like your energies. He's like, I just enjoy your energy. He's like, I'm probably end up going with you, but he's like, I can't go with, I have a 3 quote rule. He's like, that's my personal rule. He's like, I can't close right now, but he's like, just your energy and the way you talk about your team is something I admire. So just little stuff like that. And, but yeah.
So how did you stay focused on just the bird guard and the cleaning side? Like, cause obviously you've been in solar, you've been in sales before. So there's a lot of other opportunities you can make money on, and you probably even know how to do it. So how did you kind of like keep your focus just locked in on that? And what does that look like in the future? Could you potentially get into some other things?
The big thing, I watch a lot of Hormozy, and he talks about like the woman in the red dress syndrome. Like there's always going to be a shiny object. Yeah. So like I've had people that wanted more solar, and it's like, well, I could, start selling solar on the side again. But I honestly got kind of scarred by the solar industry just because like there's a lot of bad apples out there. And if I wasn't going to be 100% focused on solar, I didn't want to risk doing a disservice for someone not knowing 100% what I was doing on that end. Like I would rather just give a referral. I don't even want anything for the referral. I'd rather just give that to someone that knows exactly, like that focuses just on solar. Yep. But as far as branching into other things, like we thought about doing like power washing and stuff like that. But a lot of like the home service guys that have done it, they've made it, is all just about staying niche. Like don't take your eye off the ball. Cause like to your point, I can, get a surface cleaner, start pressure washing driveways and stuff like that. But then it's more training, it's more equipment on the trucks. So it's like, if we can just stay niche and get really good at just solar cleaning and bird proofing, I think that's going to go further in the long run than trying to be decent at a bunch of different services. So I'd rather be good at 2 or 3 and then just focus on those.
So you mentioned franchising. So what are the next steps that you're going to take to get to
Hold on real quick. Cause I want to go back to what you were just saying. Cause I don't necessarily agree with you. I understand it, but I don't agree with you. Like if you're going to refer somebody anyways, like why not make money on it?
Yeah. And you're exactly. Yeah. So I get that.
That's your lead. You own that lead. You earned that lead, took the time, the money to get that lead. Like why not make some more money off that lead?
I think some of it would be like, for example, turf cleaning, right? I thought about branching off into that, but it's a whole different van build out. So
no, I'm not even talking about you doing. No, I actually don't think you should do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying just referring it out to somebody else and making money off that.
Oh, so like we have some, like one of the roofers we work with pays us commission on it. But my thing is like, if someone gives me a referral, and I just want it to be the referral to be like, just for the sake of passing the business rather than trying to like, oh, I gave you that, you owe me a certain percentage, right? Like And if some people, like if someone wants a commission for them sending me someone or vice versa, I'll gladly take the money, but I'm not saying like, hey, I'm going to charge you for this person. Like, I don't know. I think for me, it's like good faith. Like I would rather just send it to someone knowing they're going to do a good job. And I just want the client to be happy. Because my biggest thing is if I send a roofing job to someone and I get paid, a couple grand for sending them a roof, and then that client has a horrible experience, now I kind of feel kind of shitty. Sorry for the, I was like, I kind of feel shitty for, like making money off someone that had a bad experience.
Well, look, you can't control that, but I mean, I would challenge you to challenge your perspective on that. Because I mean, again, I understand, and I really appreciate that you have such high integrity to want to make sure that your client has a good experience. But I mean, dude, that right there could probably double your business if you took that more seriously. And, obviously, yes, vetted, trusted sources, of course, you're not just going to be slinging them out to whoever, but that could double your business right now.
Yeah. And I honestly haven't really, because I've been so focused on just growing our clientele. I've just started like kind of going into the strategic partnership area. Like I only have a few that we consistently work with.
And I think it goes into what you were saying earlier, as far as like establishing new partnerships, finding more lead opportunities, is like you doing it in good faith. It's you send the lead out there, and if something happens, it happens. But if you establish partnerships with that agreement in place, it's like, hey, like this isn't just me handing you something off, and if you can take care of it, you can. It's like, hey, I'm gonna send you something, and before you know it, you've got 5, 10, 15 different partnerships that always are paying you. And it's kind of like that 2 weeks out, and then you have to restart in the beginning of the month. Like when you have that, like you've got guys, it's going to go both ways symbiotically. And so, I mean, I agree with what he said, but
I agree too. And I definitely see your side. I just, honestly, I think I've just been so ingrained on the kind of how we've been doing it. I haven't really thought.
Well, look, dude, so I do some consulting here and there, and I coach home service businesses. And that's one thing I always say, and this kind of goes into it, is most people are, and you've kind of already said it, like, how do I get more leads? How do I get more leads? I'm like, how do you get more out of the leads you have right now? Because that's going to be the easiest source. They already know you, like you, trust you. It's proven. You got 400 and however many 5-star reviews. It's like, how can you get more out of that? Not even in a bad way, in a service oriented way. Like, hey, I did a good job for you. So they probably want to buy something else from you if you have it.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to be the one doing that service, which is going to, take more time, money, effort, building out a van, all that stuff. You don't have to do that. You can, but I would look how, of course you always want new leads coming in, of course, but like, how can you get more out of the leads you have that already paid? Like,
not to mention every one lead that you solve multiple problems for, they've got multiple more reasons to refer it to one of their buddies or one of their friends from church, because maybe like this company came over and they don't have solar, but they did the X, Y, and Z for me. So there's just multifacets to it, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty too of like home service, because it like, everything, like it's a house like everybody else's house. Like they've got all these things that they could potentially need to update or need new, or something's broken. Like if it's just, a quick conversation. Another thing you mentioned, I don't mean to like be coaching you here.
No.
Like,
yeah, please.
You mentioned like not texting, like you don't have automated text, bro. Like just that right there.
I think you mentioned that you switched that over, right?
We don't have automated text for the referrals. We have automated text for everything else. So
what is everything else?
Like as soon as lead comes in, so we have a series of automations. Like you'll get a text right away, you get a phone call right away. You'll get text hour after, 2 hours after. Like we're kind of annoying until they're our client. Like
sure.
We'll hit people up
buy or die.
Every day until they say stop or they buy.
Yeah.
So on that, like on the lead nurture side, we have a ton of automations. It's just that I don't have a text that goes out right now after the job.
Yeah.
Saying,
that's what I'm saying. That's the best time.
Yeah. And
because now you guys did a good job for them. You took care of them. They like you. They trust you. And it's like, hey, by the way, we've got this deal going on right now. If you want whatever it is, whether it's your service or somebody else's trusted source that you can send the lead to. I mean, dude, you're definitely missing that, because again, and I know you've had some bad reviews that you did the right thing and got them flipped, but to have that many good reviews like that in 3 years, dude, you're leaving money on the table, dude.
And that's the thing, is like, I'm one that always I want the criticism, because I don't know what I don't know. I'm not going to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Cause at the end of the day, like I tell my guys, like, guys, you've all worked for other companies before. If I'm not operating how you guys think I should be, like, you got to tell me. Like, I'm learning every step of the way, just as you guys are. And just being like human about that, you know, having the humility to be like, yeah, I don't really know what to do in this situation.
And I love that too.
Yeah.
I love that because people want to help you when you're that way.
Mm-hmm.
When you ego or whatever, it'll turn people off, and it could potentially give you good advice that you need. I mean, how old are you?
23.
You're 23, dude. Of course you have a ton to learn. Like, of course you do.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can come off wrong and people are like, well, I don't want to help you.
Yeah.
But like when you're just humble and open to it, and, you know, people want to pour into you, probably more than they should sometimes. I'd imagine, you know, I know there's a lot of hitters in the 1% club. I know a lot of those guys, like, you know, they probably just by virtue of you being humble like that, just want to pour into you. Hey, dude, let me help you. Hey, let me do this, do that, whatever. So
I think a lot of it is like being willing to ask for help. Like that's the only reason I found out about Cam was I just DM'd him.
Yeah.
And like I DM'd, you know, Cody Sperber a couple years ago about real estate.
Yeah.
Like when I wanted to get in real estate. And I actually dropped the ball because he invited me out to his office, and I was like 16. I got nervous. I was
well,
like,
it's right over here.
yeah, no, I got nervous. And I didn't I was like, oh, I can't make it, you know? But I think that just being willing to like understand that, hey, I have way more to learn. Like, why not take it from guys that have already done it?
Yeah.
And that's one of my things is the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. So I'm always trying to, I wouldn't say invest in myself is like what people say, but like, I'm always trying to read and just learn what other people have done that worked for them, because if it worked for them, it's going to work for me. And that's another thing. And not to put the like ego into it, but like if someone else can do it, I know I can do it. I just have to figure out how they did it and I can do it. You know, I don't like I don't necessarily want to put anyone on a certain pedestal that I can't get to. You know, it's like if someone else can do it, I know I can do it. I just got to get the right guidance to get there, and being willing to learn, make mistakes. Like I made a very expensive mistake with meta ads like 2 months ago. Like it probably cost us $50,000 to $70,000 in revenue.
Oh wow!
I messed up the mapping from the Facebook form to the high level, so we were getting all these form fills, but it wasn't going into high level, and I didn't find out for 60 days. And the only reason I found out is because I texted like my Connor, he does all my sales, lead nurture, stuff like that. I texted him. I said, hey, did you like contact Samantha? He's like, I don't have, I forget her last name, but he's like, I don't have her in our system. I said, well, she's on Meta. He's like, I don't have her. So I saw one that was like that. And then I looked in the mapping, saw it was messed up. I fixed the mapping. 150 leads came in like that just from over the last 60 days. And that was like my most expensive mistake I've made. Luckily it was cash that I lost, but I didn't necessarily see 50, 70 out of my account. It just, it could have been revenue that I'd like based on the close rate. That was $50,000 to $70,000 worth of work that I just dropped the ball on.
How do your numbers work? Do you know your KPIs? It sounds like pretty well.
Yeah, I try to keep get a good eye on them.
I mean, Cam, Tommy, all those guys preach the same thing. So
yeah.
What are your KPIs? Do you know them?
So the ones we track is contact rate, close rate, and then booking rate. Like Cam really like pushes us to know. I think I don't want to say I guess we're small enough, right? Like we don't have, if they get on the schedule, like they're getting serviced unless they cancel. I would say those are the three I watch the most. And then obviously cost per lead and stuff like that. And I try to hit a like 4 to 5x ROAS on Facebook. And we're a little bit closer to 7 and 8 on Google. I thought about just leaving Facebook and pouring all into Google, but I've had I think Facebook's good for the branding side too. So I kind of do both because people watch a Facebook ad and then they go look you up on Google, you know, and I like having both of them. But as far as that, our contact rate, we try to contact them within, you know, like 5 to 7 minutes, which it should be quicker. But if with only me and Connor doing it, it's hard. Like if I'm in an estimate, it's hard for me to get a hold of that person right away. So I put 5 to 7 minutes as the contact rate, and then maintaining above an 80% contact rate. And I think high level has our numbers kind of skewed because it says that we have like a 95%. I don't believe we have a 95% contact rate. I think it's a little lower than that, just seeing like how many leads versus what we're selling. And then I try to maintain a 55 to 60% close rate, which it could be higher, but we're honestly a little bit more pricey than a lot of the competition.
I mean, that's high industry. That's high period. I mean, that's great.
What's your average ticket?
So if you average out cleaning and bird proofing together,
I guess they would be separate.
Yeah. But so total is $750 is our average ticket. If you combine them for bird proofing, it's probably between 15 and 1900. And then solar cleaning is like 300 average.
Okay. Interesting.
So
what, $10 a panel?
On a cleaning, roughly between 8 and 10. So we do our pricing. If you're under 19 panels, it's $195, unless you're on a plan. If you're on a plan, it's a little cheaper. But for us to come out there, whether you have 1 panel or 19 panels, it's $195. And then I do 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 40, and so on. And then 60 plus is all custom quote, just depending on the size. And because it's hard charging someone $10 a panel on 60, like $600 for cleaning.
I'm sure you've had to figure a lot of things out as you've scaled and you started to get more and more jobs, bring on trucks, insurance, things like
oh yeah. Like,
how did you start to gauge that stuff and continue to adjust as it goes, or what'd you do?
100%. So I used to do a flat $9 a panel. My brother got to a job. He's like, hey, it's quoted for 20. There's 24 panels. I'm like, all right, dude, like an extra 4 panels takes like 2 minutes. Like it's not that big of a difference. So we started just pricing on the ranges, because then when my brother's out on a job and the neighbor wants it done, they can say, oh, I think I have 24. I might have 26 panels. It's like, cool. I'm not going to nickel and dime you over 2 panels. Like, this is the price. Yeah. So it made it easier for me, for Connor to actually sell the job over the phone. And then, cause when you're trying to look at a job from satellite, it's hard to see every single panel. Yeah. But if you have 3 arrays, you're probably anywhere between 20 and 40 panels, you know? So it's like, okay.
And I think it makes it easy for the consumer experience as well, because I mean, honestly, with cost averaging like that, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but it sounds like you figured out a method to cost average higher, to where, you know, when you don't have to get into the weeds with clients and they just see one price, they're just like, oh yeah, I'll just pay that. But once you start doing the math and they're like, oh, you know, probably are going to start to lose a few here and there.
Yeah. If they're like, well, I have 24 or 25 panels. It's like, okay, well, it's either 200 or it's 215. They're like, dude, we're talking about like 15, like just come out and clean the system, you know? So I'm like, am I really going to I'll just charge an extra $15. You know, if someone says no over $15, then they're probably not the type of client we really want to work with. You know what I mean? So the ranges just made it easy. And if like a client's like, hey, my neighbor also wants it done, I think they have 20 panels. They may have a little more. I don't know. So I can just price them the same if they have 20 panels also. Yeah. You know, so it just makes the pricing a little easier. It makes the plans easier, because now when I'm on the phone with someone, if they're like, I have 24 panels, I'm like, cool, it's $275 for one time, $247 biannual, $233.75 for a quarterly. You know, I know the pricing a lot easier than trying to do the math on 24, 25, 26, 27 panels, you know? So it just makes it easier across the board. And like you said, on referrals too. Well, I paid $275 and I have 20 panels. If you have 25, you know, it might be a different price. It just makes it easy to put them in a range. And then when we work with solar companies, I make that range even more broad. So like with solar companies, I'll say, hey, anything below 30 panels is this price, 30 to 50 panels is this price, and then 50 to 60 above, it's all custom quote, because we need to see the layout and stuff like that. If you have 60 panels, you know, it's a pretty big house. It's definitely not all one array. One array of 60 panels versus 4 arrays is 2 different types of cleaning, you know? Mm-hmm. So all the big stuff I do custom quotes on. Like commercial is a little bit cheaper per panel, but I would say we fall in the average of, I would say between $7 and $10 a foot, or $7 and $10 a panel. And then for bird guards is anywhere from $8 to $13 a foot.
So when you're cleaning, like some of the systems, obviously they've got critter guard on them already, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're not able to clean underneath those. You're just cleaning the surface, like the cosmetic side of it.
Exactly. Just the surface.
So does the price differ if they have bird guard versus they don't have bird guard when you're doing the cleaning?
Not on a solar cleaning.
Really?
No. Yeah. So
even though it's way more work extensive.
So it's really not though, because if we're not cleaning the underside of the system on a cleaning anyway. On a solar cleaning, we're just cleaning the surface. It's for the for the efficiency and for the well-being of the system.
Got it. So the critter guard, that comes with cleaning under the panels.
Yes.
But the regular panel cleaning, that does not come with that.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was wondering how that worked. I was like, yeah, that's got to be a little bit different.
Yeah, no, man.
Super expensive for sure.
So for example, on a 20 panel system, to clean the surface of the panels, we're talking 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how they're laid out. If we're cleaning in the underneath of a 20 panel system, we're talking 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different service, which is why I tell people no, if they're like, hey, I just want you to clean the surface and the underneath, but I don't want bird guards
under there. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like it takes the whole part of a bird guard job is cleaning out the underneath of the system. Putting on the guards is significantly less time than cleaning them.
Which is probably why you have the 5-star reviews that you do, is because you disqualify situations that would put you in that 3-star, 1-star, 2-star type of situations. Because it's not that your business didn't do the right thing. It's just they made a bad decision. And like you see that happen with a lot of businesses.
Yeah. They're like, oh, they came out, they charged us like $1,200 to clean the underside of our system. Birds are back this week. It's like, that's a different service.
How often do you turn people down?
Just depends, man. Like I typically try to give a range over the phone for bird guards. So because we go in person for all of our sales. Because if you have a 2 nests versus 10 nests, you know, it's a lot, it's very different on time cleaning it out. So as far as qualifying, I'll say, cool. Have you had a cleaning done before? Just a surface cleaning? They're like, no. I'm like, cool. This is typically the pricing. If they have had it done, what did you pay last time? I paid $75. Okay, cool. Well, our minimum's $195. So if you have 30 panels and you paid 75, I'd probably just call that guy. Like we're going to be up in the 300s, you know? Yeah. So that's a way to qualify the cleans. Ask them if they have ever had it done. If they haven't, we go through a little process of explaining why to do it. I'm not just going to give you pricing. We have to build the value. If I'm going to charge someone $300-$400 for cleaning, they have to understand why they're paying the $300-$400 with the filters and all that stuff. Same thing on the bird guards. On the bird guards, I'll measure a system on satellite. It gets me within 10-15% of the actual footage. So I can tell someone, hey, it'll be between $1,500 and $2,500. I always give people like $1,000 range just so I don't come out there and have it be way above what I thought.
Marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always give a decent size range. And then they're like, well, that's a big range. I'm like, well, it's really determined on how much nesting you have. Because if you don't have nesting and we just show up and we throw the guards on, we can be there for 2 hours versus we've spent 14 hours on jobs, so it's significantly different pricing. Another thing to talk about, what we don't sacrifice for, I'm never going to charge the client more on the job. So like if I quote a job at $1,500, I go out there and my crew goes out there and like, hey dude, this is worse than we thought. That's our mistake for quoting it wrong. So I'm not going to go back to the client and be like, by the way, now it's $2,100. Because
what if I guess yours is a little more because you're pretty much everything is there for you. Like you don't not too much could really be hidden from what you guys are doing. But
as far as needing materials and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, in terms of like say, if you're doing a detach or something, like there could be
that's different.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's different.
You can see everything. So
yeah,
I get that, and that's fair. Yeah,
yeah. So that's like. That guy my brother got shocked on that house the other day. That guy needs a full detach and reset because they need to rewire how the system's laid. The system has no conduit. It's wires running up the side of the house.
Do that.
I had Harmon quote it and then AZ Custom Solar quote it.
Send them our way. Bro.
So, I just found out you were in solar. Yeah. So, but yeah, so they're doing that on Monday and then we're going to go out so after the panels are off, there's no way we can get electrocuted at that point. We're going to clean the roof and we can actually power wash the roof because we're not worried about hitting modules and stuff. And then we're going back on Tuesday to install the guards and clean the system after they get put back.
What's been your experience in the detach and reset side? What have you heard? What have you seen?
It's as far as what?
Pricing, reputations, concerns, whole 9 yards.
I think warranty is a concern for a lot of people. What happens to their solar warranty? That's one reason I haven't got into detach and reset is I don't really want to be liable for someone's system that's 14 years old.
Yep.
So that's why I stay niche on what we do. We have partners that we do the detach and reset for or that they do the detach and reset for us. And I'm not tied to necessarily one partner for detach and reset. I kind of go with what's best and who can get out there the quickest. Yep. Like that situation, that customer was anxious. And I'm like, hey, like I need someone out here today to figure out what's going on. Like this guy doesn't want his system down for 3 days. So we got to figure this out. So I just went with the first person. I called 3 different people and AZ Custom was the first one that can get out to the house. And so that one I changed price on obviously because I'm fronting the cash for them to do that. And then the client's paying us for that. But yeah, on a typical bird guard job, if I tell you 1,500 and so to your point, even if we need more materials, that's our fault for quoting it wrong.
Right.
So I'm not going to make the client pay for our mistake.
Yeah.
If we break 3 roof tiles, that's our mistake. So like, I'm very big on covering our own, asses with that and not making the client pay for something that they didn't originally intend on paying. Cause with our industry, I've seen people, we get underbidded. We'll come in at 2,500, company quotes 1,200, they get to the house and then they charge 800 to clean it up.
Right.
So it's like now that client's in $2,000 and then they have a bad taste with that company because they charge them extra. Or it's like, no, when we come out, that's why we go in-person quotes. When we come out and give you a price, that is the price unless detach and reset or something like that. Yeah. But typically, I'm not going to change. I don't change price.
Even on the cleanings, you're going in person.
No, not on cleaning.
Oh, so I was going to say,
yeah, we can
$300 and you're going on.
No, we can get pretty close with the satellite. Yeah. And like I said, if we quote them for 29 panels and they have 35, I'm not going to change that price. Like I said, and now if they're on a biennial plan and we're coming out every 6 months, I'll tell them, hey, by the way, you guys have significantly more panels or you have 10 more panels than we thought. Yeah. I'm not going to charge you our normal rate for that, but I can give you a little bit of a deal, but it will be more expensive next visit.
Sometime with those framings, dude, in the shadows, like it's
hard.
Hard to see. It's like, is that 1 or is that 2 or is like, how many is that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Google Maps is good for measuring for critter guards, like to give like a range on that. And then Apple Maps is like their satellite's really good. You can typically see the panels, like individual panels on there. But like I said, if we're off by even 5 panels, like I'm not going to bug the client about that. Like, we're just going to clean it.
You know what I found though? County assessor, you can see year by year by year by year. So you can usually see like the last 5 to 10 years, and the sun is usually in a different spot. So it gives you a better idea. I don't know if that's.
Oh, really? County assessor?
Yeah, you can go on the county assessor, type in the address, and usually the sun's in a different spot, like throughout different times of the year. So you can see.
Interesting.
Gives you just a little bit of better of an angle on seeing it.
Yeah, we only use Google Maps and Apple Maps right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this isn't working. I was like, I'm having too many that are like a couple panels off, and it's a little bit different than what you're doing, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you usually see on the detached and reset side as far as pricing goes?
It's between, I would say between 100 and 250 a panel, depending what needs done.
It's a huge range.
Yeah, it's a huge range. So the reason that range that we've seen is, well, I don't know. Some people that charge 250 a panel, I don't know why they charge that, because it seems like a lot of them can do it for 150 a panel.
Right.
But the guy that we're doing next week, the one that shocked us, he wanted all his wiring redone. So it's more than just a detach and reset, because they were gonna charge me like 150 a panel, but after I was like, well, this guy wants new conduit, like he wants his system to be the right way, they went up to 200 a panel, which is fair. Like, they're doing a lot more work.
Yeah, it's a lot more material.
So I would say, like, if someone's within 150 and 200, that's what I've seen. We've been doing this for 3 years. I've only had to do 2 detaches and resets, because we can typically get everything out without having to remove the system.
Yeah.
If it's caked to where I can't see anything underneath, like, yeah, that I'd probably say, hey, by the way, but it automatically adds $2,000 to $4,000 to the client. So sometimes they're like, well, I'd rather just deal with the birds at that point, So, we try not to do a detach and reset, but in a safety situation or a situation where, like, hey, dude, we're going to be here for, 3 days trying to do this. Like, in that case, you have to take the system off. So, but yeah, I would say I very rarely see $100 a panel. It's typically between 150 and 200 is what I've gotten quotes for. And again, I don't know if that's the same for like a client, but for us going to them, like I'd say that's
the average range.
Yeah, like I've seen that.
That's what you see pretty much.
Some guy quoted me like, yeah, 250 a panel. And I was like, dude, that seems expensive. Like, I'm talking to guys that are fully insured, licensed, and they're only at like 200, or 150. So, and if they can't tell me why that they're that much, then I'm like, the client, if I don't understand why it's that much, the client's not understand why that's that much.
Yep.
So
that's the problem right now with, and I think I'm sure it's maybe other markets too, but like, that's just the Phoenix market. And it's just tough right now, because you got some of these guys, and I'm whatever, I'm go out and get your money, I don't care. But it's a lot of these chucking a truck guys that are coming in and just driving the price to the bottom.
Yeah.
So detach reset's a tough business. That's partly why I hate it, but also partly why I jumped in it.
Yeah. And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, same thing with the cleanings and bird guards. We'll get underbid by, like, I got beat by a quote the other day by like $1,500. Like, and I was like, dude, I don't even know how, like, they're in business, because they came in at like $4 a panel and we're charging 10. I was like, we have a decent margin on 10, but we're not gouging, like, I genuinely didn't understand how they're making money on it.
Yeah.
And the client's like, well, I'm on a budget, this is what I have to do. I'm like, I get it, but that's the hard part about our industry's unregulated. Like, anyone can go do what we do. So I literally have a full guide that I show people of like, hey, there's no code, there's no standard for what our industry. So I built this for you as a homeowner, and I go through it with them. Hey, you're going to get 3 quotes. These are the 6 questions you need to ask them to make sure they have answers to it. If they hesitate, I wouldn't go with them.
Yes.
So I built a guide to kind of position ourselves as the professionals in the industry.
Awesome,
Did you get that from Solar? Like the
guide?
Getting 3 quotes and like, here's the questions to ask?
Yes. And
for a long time.
Yeah. Yes and no. Like, I didn't have a guide in Solar. They gave me like slicks, so I had a couple slicks, but there's just APS information. So the guide kind of came from Claude, like talking to AI. Like, yeah. I was like, hey, we're getting beat on price, but I know our work's better, but it's hard to convince the client of that when it looks the same on paper and they don't know till the result on who was actually better. So I built that guide, and with before and after photos, reviews, our process, materials, everything easy to read. And so now we bring that guide to every single home, and I send them a PDF copy of the guide, like the guy today. I didn't close him, but he was like, dude, like, do you have that guide on PDF? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to send it to you. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to have it on my computer as the other company's pitching me. So.
I was going to say, that reminds me of the old CPUC agreement that you had to sign out in California if you sold solar. And basically, like, in the home, you sign the loan, you sign the lease, you sign the NEM agreement. And then the next one, as you're sitting there in the house, you basically have to go through it with the homeowner. And this is the last form they sign. And it basically says, and you have to read it to the homeowner. It says, you need to make sure that you get 3 to 5 quotes before you sign anything. Yeah. And here's the 8 to 10 questions that you're asking. The homeowner's looking at it and they're like, wait, didn't I just sign with you? And I didn't get and get 3 other quotes. And it's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
let's just keep going.
It's a formality, you know?
And they're like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, the guide's been amazing. And I'm actually working on a new ad campaign that kind of emulates that a little bit. So,
Very cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, the in-home guide has been huge because it positions ourselves as the industry leaders.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, you know, my first initial thought when you're saying that, which I love that, is, you know, there's probably not too many companies like you that are really trying to build a brand and get out there. But I don't know. Is there some?
Yeah, like we have like 2 other companies that I would say are probably the same level as us. Like they do good work, good owners. We're all young. You know, it's a young industry. I think we're all between like 20 or 23, I guess, and 30. Like all of us are young that are actually building a brand. Yeah, there's 2 other companies that are out here in the East Valley, which we overlap, but we're all like buddies, you know, like I can text either one of them, say like, hey, how are you guys doing this week and stuff like that. Other than that though, it's a bunch of guys that are like handymen. Like it's like, or one person companies that are going out and doing it, you know?
But that to me still, you're talking about, what are we, 6-7 million people here now? So 3 companies, that ain't nothing.
Yeah. Like 3 that I consistently bid against the same 3 companies.
So yeah. So, I mean, it does kind of go to what I was thinking then is like, you know, the fact that you're putting the time and effort, money into building a brand will set you apart. I mean, look, it's kind of like the Tommy Mello effect. It's like, dude, they charge probably 5, 6, 7 times what any other garage company charges, but he's the brand. Like he's everywhere. You can drive out of here. Like you're going to see his face within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
a truck, a sign, something.
You just are.
Rafi.
Yeah. Rafi, same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, and that goes a long way. And that's why, you know, he's a billionaire and has $1 billion company. So,
yeah.
You know, I think you're doing the right thing there. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's, that's one of the, and I want and it's mainly just for my, like, yeah, for the clients, obviously, but also for my crew. Like I want them to be able to wear our brand going out to dinner and not feel like they're in a work shirt. You know, like we have, like I did like a Thrasher Sunbros logo and like they wear it out to eat, they wear it out to dinner, you know, and it's stuff like that. It's just like, and I've had people, I was in Nashville wearing a Sunbros shirt and some guy was like, dude, that's a sick shirt. Like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's actually my company, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah. So just little stuff like that. And, I honestly, I get a lot of fulfillment out of the little things. Cause it's just, I'm big into like, I guess style and clothing. Like I like, and like in the SoCal vibe with the skater and I'm into action sports and stuff. So it's like, I want our brand to kind of look really good for a client side, but also on the apparel side. Like I want it to be somewhere where you might order a hat, not even knowing that we do solar cleaning and bird proofing, you know, like it's just, they want a cool hat, you know? So just building that. And, I've actually put in the time and money to get like professional logos made through like graphic designers. Cause it's like, I want something cool that people are going to wear. Like I have like a skating, Dickies jacket and I'm going to get like that logo stitched there. And it's just gonna be I'm never going to wear it to work. It's literally going to be like just to go out, you know? Yeah. So just little stuff like that, which I know is not, that side of it shouldn't be a huge focus, but I just like having that brand side of it. And then we just got all of our trucks rewrapped to where now you see our van and it's blue and flat black. Like it looks good. Yeah. But now people like, go to a house and like, oh, like I saw your truck the other day. I'm like, yeah, you know, like we wanted something that doesn't blend in with traffic. Yeah. Like if you see it driving down the freeway, like it's going to catch your eye. Yeah. And that's
what Cam did so good.
Exactly. That's what he did. Coconut's the same way. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I was telling Evan Ritchie the other week, I was like, dude, I like that shirt. And then he turned around and I was like, oh, that's a work shirt. And he's like, yeah, it's just, you know, he does the same thing with his apparel. It's really sick.
I would honestly
I'm gonna need one of those.
I got a lot of inspiration from those 2 guys on that side. I'm building the apparel side, the brand, making it cool, making it enjoyable because I mean, I'll be the first one to say it. Cleaning solar and doing bird proofing is not fun. It's not the most enjoyable thing in the world, you know? Like you can probably go work inside somewhere at a desk job and maybe make more as a tech, you know, than what you're doing here. But if I can make a good culture out of it, like I take the boys go-karting and Top Golf, you know, we went to that new And Ready place in Glendale. Yep, you know, there's stuff like that. Stuff like building a family, I think has been huge because when those days are hard, they know, okay, like there's 7 other guys going through it today. Like we're all in this together. And when they work late jobs, I have pizza delivered to my house and we all like, cause we have a storage unit, but I run basically everything out of my house right now. Out of my garage. It's like yeah. My fiance's like, this is pretty much just a Sunbros warehouse at this point. And I'm like, it is what it is. Like it's part of the startup. But yeah, like I'll have guys over, like we had when it was colder outside, we did like a bonfire, like just the crew, you know, and their significant others and stuff like that. And knowing now, like we're providing meals you have 8 guys and they all have wives or girlfriends, you know, now it's like we're feeding 16 people, you know, like that's what I look at. It's like, dang, we've created 8 jobs, you know, like that's insane, you know? So there's stuff like that. And that's kind of what I get the fulfillment out of, is like making sure that they have a crew to, or have somewhere where they can feel like they're valued.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, dude.
So yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, man. I do. I appreciate that. You know, you always, we always like never know what we're going to get, or I guess maybe it's just, I don't know. So you too. So I come here and I'm like, dude, you know, I love business. Like that's through and through. Like I've been doing this 25 plus years, and I want to learn more about business. I want to learn from you and things you're doing. And I want to teach as much as I can, but I swear it's been the last at least 3 we've got on. It's like, you know, I appreciate you just talking about, like, you're just a good guy. And I appreciate that. The last 2 before you were like, dude, like half the podcast was about God. And it's just like, you never know what you're going to get. So I appreciate these conversations and where they go, and just let them go where they go. But, yeah, dude, you're building a cool business, man. I
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you came out. I'm curious about, and you briefly mentioned it, and you just being a young guy, like what you're doing. You already said you're doing some stuff, but like how deep in AI are you right now to help build your company?
Yeah. So I actually went through Evan's AI course a couple weeks ago, and part of that, he gave us a ton of agents. So I'm right now, like, I couldn't say everyone has the time. I just haven't sat down and actually like deployed the agents yet. So right now we use Claude for like our Facebook ads and Google ads, like all the metrics and stuff, making sure everything's working correctly. And then like the guides we do. So I basically use like all of our ad copy started with like Claude. So I basically use it for a lot of that end right now, or I'll tell it my numbers. I'm like, hey, like what should I focus on? Like I built a persona off of Mike Andes. He runs Augusta Lawn Care.
Mm-hmm.
So I had code build a persona off of him. So now I have like a business coach through Claude, and like I'll tell it something and it spits out. So I basically use it for, I guess, business coaching right now, and then like our Facebook and Google metrics and stuff like that. I want to have an agent be deployed to actually run our lead nurture and high level. Like I want to have an AI agent for that. I honestly just haven't done it yet. And I think part of that's like, I guess I kind of fear the unknown in that way, because I want clients to be communicated with a certain way. And I don't know, not saying I don't know if I have the knowledge. I just don't want to deploy an agent and then have the information be skewed, which I know is just putting the proper guardrails and stuff on it. So I'm honestly, I would say I've barely tapped in. If we're talking about businesses that run with AI, we've barely tapped into it. We basically just use it for like basic stuff right now.
Yeah.
A lot of our design and stuff like that's all AI. But yeah, I have like a ton of agents from Evan that I just haven't deployed yet. Mainly just because I don't want anything to be like our current processes and stuff to get messed up. I've had it help me build SOPs, inventory sheets. So like now that we have, and I know it's like, you probably have dealt with like having a ton of trucks. We only have 3 trucks, but now I'm learning like when a knife goes missing, just something that small could throw off the job because now they don't have anything to cut the tarp or the plastic with. So like my brother, we built a full inventory sheet with AI with like checking filters, checking every little thing that's on the truck. So each truck has its own sheet now. All of our SOPs I've built with AI and then edited them. And then the first time I had my brother do inventory with the AI sheet, he's like, dude, this is a lot of information. I'm like, well, that's what it's for, is we're going to build something and then we're going to have to edit it. So that's what I need feedback from you on, you know, what doesn't need to be on the sheet, you know, what is it, or is this something we only check once a month, you know, so stuff like that. But yeah, I've mainly had AI like build me stuff and like help me with like when Google ads weren't working, I literally did the Chrome extension and I was like, yo, like fix these and allowed the permissions, and it went through and literally fixed our ads for us without having to pay an agency to run the Google ads, you know.
Huge.
SEO, like so through our CRM, so all the replies on our reviews, that's all AI. Like, so all the, like when Sunbros replies to a review, that's AI, through high level. And then like the Google posting and stuff, AI makes all of it. I just hit post. So like all the, just Google listings that are like, hey, check out this job we did in Phoenix or whatever. That's all, that's AI. So I hit post, but yeah.
I'm actually not even doing that. I need to do that. That's smart.
Yeah. Just the like Google updates and stuff with photos. And we use Company Cam and Jobbers. So since they link, I can go in the Jobber and like hit Google posting and it makes a post with AI. And then I just schedule the post. So I literally like 2 clicks and I have a full post for Google. So yeah, makes it easy. Cause
Yeah.
I honestly don't like doing that stuff. I hate sitting down, grabbing photos and
Yeah.
making the
Yeah,
posts. So
sucks.
yeah, we use AI for that. We probably use AI for more like little things right now, but I don't have any agents deployed, which I know I'm missing out on. I honestly just haven't sat down and really like locked myself in a room and done it. I don't know. Sometimes I do struggle with implementation. Like I'll have it in my head and then like for example, the ad campaign I'm working on right now, I know exactly what I need to do. I just haven't sat down and done it, you know? So I procrastinate on those things, like just being honest. And, I think I am missing the mark a little bit on the AI stuff, but, and we're slowly adapting to it. The agents I think will really help and I just haven't deployed them yet.
Well, I mean, even down to, you know, the execution part and getting that done, just procrastination. I mean, to just what it can do for you there.
Yeah.
And just kind of prioritizing your day, structuring your day. Obviously you have to follow it. You have to have the discipline to do it. And that takes it. But if you do that, I built this one, this is a while back and I probably needs to be updated, but I called it Operator 1. And that was big for me. Is just like, you know, I was coming out of a period where I just kind of like all my disciplines were gone. I was just chilling for a while and I'm like, dude, I got to get back after this. So I built Operator 1 and it just structures my whole day. Like first thing when I wake up in the morning, like 6 a.m., it like gives me scriptures. I start my day with scriptures, do all that. And then, you know, it just keeps going next. And I need that. Like I need that kind of accountability measures to keep me locked in. And I probably haven't used it in probably a couple months and I'm still like locked into that. So it helps a ton with just that. But I feel like then you haven't had the, like the AI, maybe to an extent, but like the like, holy shit, you can do what? Like deal with it that I've been through. We have a partner. He's like our tech guy. He does builds out all the AI stuff for us. But, we gave Daniel just the AI. We have the Claude in our chat. So we just build right out of our chat. Like he just, we gave it to him.
Nuts. It was all I did for like 2 weeks. It was like, I was just like head down on the ground, like
12 hours a day, just
down there
building all this crap, dude. Like he built some cool stuff, but, you know, it's for me because, you know, like, I have a lot of experience. I've done a lot of different stuff in a lot of different industries. And I would say my, you know, probably the number one thing I would say I am is like a creative. My first company was a marketing agency. So I love to think about business, like not just like this industry, like I like to take everything as a whole and like, how could this from this industry fit in this industry and make it better because nobody in this industry is doing that. And I love combining those things. And we talked about this. There's talking about it. It's like, you know what you want, but a year ago, it's like, dude, I got to hire somebody in India to pay him 6 figures to build out all this stuff I want. And now it's just like, boom. And the stuff we've built over the last 6 months, dude, is wild. Like the stuff it can do, to optimize your business and to make it better, to like marketing, like all this stuff, dude, that, and some of the industries that we're in, it's crazy. So I would encourage you get a little deeper because, you know, you got 3 years in your business now. You probably know just about everything there is within it. You've dealt with, you know, you're talking about Jobber, you're talking about, Go High Level. And sometimes it's difficult making a transition on stuff, but there's things that Go High Level that you love. And there's things you're like, man, I wish it had this. There's things, Jobber, I wish I had this. If you can take all that knowledge that you have, dude, you can build out whatever you want.
Yeah. Especially in terms of you wanting to get to an exit, like having your own proprietary software that is for you, designed by you, because it's from your head and from your knowledge. Like that's something that's going to always get you a higher multiple.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I would love to do, like build an app that, cause like you said, I love Jobber, but their reoccurring stuff isn't the best, you know? Then we use Company Cam and then we use High Level and then Zapier connects all of them, you know? So I would love to build something like that. And I just haven't, you know, and I, like even knowing the numbers, having a dashboard with all the numbers we need. We just started using SendBlue to make all of our automations like iMessage. Mm-hmm. And that dashboard's insane too. And that's all AI. I'm sure that's what they built it off of. So yeah, that's been huge too. And I love knowing, like getting into the numbers, you know, but I think I am missing the ball on a lot of the AI stuff. Cause I've had those wow moments with just some of the other stuff it's built for us, but probably not nearly to the extent that you guys have used. And that's why I'm interested in getting more into AI. Like Connor, my sales guy, he loves like AI, like he's using it all the time. So
I would encourage you just to like start, like take your first initial, like, to me, I always think about it that way because based on everything you just said, like we like to see all our numbers too, and we like to get nitty gritty, but like we want to have everything that we want based off of our experience in these businesses set up right. And I know if it's like good for us, it would be good for anybody. So I would encourage you to like start building a CRM. Yeah. Like you don't even got to think heavy into it. Just start the first initial thought, get it out there. I have one that I've been working on for probably 2 months, and it's so sick, but like I'll like drop off it for a week and then, I'm busy or whatever. And then I'll come back to it and just start from where I left off and build it better. But even in that, span of time that I wasn't working on, I thought of something new and better. Just get started because even specifically with the numbers, dude, you like dialed down to the penny, dude, like some cool stuff and tracking your costs better and all that stuff.
That was my point that I was losing right there, is that if you get into AI and you don't have those year, 2 years, 3 years of getting to know the industry and being the full professional, like there's so many guys right now that are probably competing against you that are starting businesses today, even though you're 3 years in experience, and like they don't have any of the actual hands-on knowledge that you do. Mm-hmm. And so everybody thinks that AI can build a business like that for them today, but if you don't have the sweat equity, the blood, sweat, and tears, like it's just a cosmetic at the end of the day. It's just a cosmetic box. Like there's nothing, actually no substance to it, no depth to it. So
it's the data.
I wouldn't say you're behind on anything. I think the fact that you've got 3 years of experience in an industry where you've only got 2 competitors in a market with 7 million people, like, dude, once you do start to plug into that, it's going to be like that for you.
Yeah. And I'm sure we have more competitors, but like the ones I only bid against like 2 or 3 guys, so it's like, and that's no matter where we're at in Arizona. It's like we come out here, it's the same guys we're bidding against in Surprise or Waddell, so it's, and that's wild to me because you go to like plumbing, roofing, and there's thousands, so
many.
Yeah. So it is crazy to me. And I wouldn't even say we feel competition,
and
but like
still, no. And there's still all those roofing companies, and there's still roofing companies making a crap load of money.
They're all still doing great.
So antiquated.
So, it gives me a lot of hope for our industry because our industry is growing like crazy. Yeah. There's new people popping up all the time. The guy I sold my trailer to was starting the same business we did, So, and I'm like, dude, like, let me know. I have a couple years of experience now. If you need help, like I'm willing to, there's enough homes for all of us to work on, there's enough solar in Arizona to where I don't think any of us are going to lack the homes. It's just getting in front of the clients.
That's why it's cool that you got good relationships with all of them, especially with your goal to exit eventually. Like you build that platform and eventually like you get all those guys to come together and you're like, dude, let's do this thing together. Like we can get a way bigger multiplier if we can.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to say. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. Yeah, dude, if you look at it that way, because you said competition, and I know you didn't necessarily mean that because I heard you also said that you're willing to help those people. Mm-hmm. But, the guys at the top are talking about collaboration. The guys at the bottom are talking about competition. So if you think about it from that, and it's like you start building yourself, and you kind of already are heading in that direction, but building yourself as the platform company. And I know you also talked about franchise too, so that's different too. But if you started building yourself as like the platform company, get into the AI, make sure you have your own proprietary stuff. But then like all these guys that, maybe they're doing it, but unlikely, you keep growing your business. And then, dude, you get to a point and you're like, hey, why don't you guys join me? Let's roll up into me. I'm the platform company. We'll be Sunbros. We'll exit as Sunbros. And all of you are going to make way more than you would have made doing it on your own. That's the way
I would love that. Yeah. Like when I do exit, I will probably try to do like a roll up or something and try to buy a couple small company or just try to figure that out. And like I said, I don't really know where even to begin with that. I've talked to a few private equity guys and they basically just told me like, make sure that system, like that business can run without you, eliminate the key man risk. And that's really what I've been focused on that side. And then getting our reoccurring revenue up to like 30% of total revenue. It's only at like 10 to 15 right now. So just because the bird guards are so much more expensive. So when you look at it from a numbers perspective, the reoccurring side is significantly less, but it's still nice because those relationships are there. Yeah. So those people are still sending us clients that they now have bird issues or whatever the case is, or we might clean a system for someone and they might be on our biannual plan for 2 years and then they have a bird issue. Yeah. I still feel like we're just getting started, man. Like I posted a video yesterday because yesterday was our 3 anniversary and it's like, we've come a decently long way for our industry, but at the same time, like there's so much untapped potential that we still need to hit. And, yeah. And as far as franchising goes, I would love to get into, so I want to get, my goal for Arizona is to get to 20 to 30 trucks just in Arizona. That's roughly 10 million a year in top line. Hopefully a 2 to 5 million EBITDA, and then we can sell for, 4 to 5x of that, or depending what the multiple is at that point. But I would like to get into, Tucson, and then New Mexico, Texas, Cali, Nevada, like just all the sunshine states that all have solar, that are all cookie cutter homes. Colorado would be nice, but all those roof pitches are like 12, like they're insane. So, safety is always gonna be a liability. So that's one thing that I don't think we're even close to being ready to franchise, because I'm still heavily involved. But yeah, that would be the goal, is to franchise, but also not let safety become, because that's our biggest hurdle, is safety. I guess that's the answer from earlier. Like, other than the marketing side, which is all easy stuff to fix, at the end of the day, it's not easy stuff to fix, but you know what I mean? Like, it's all stuff you can continuously progress on. I mean, so is safety, but there's a lot that you have way more risk. Way more risk on the safety side.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'm very, knock on wood, like very lucky we haven't had any major accidents yet, but that's something that's one of those things that like keeps me up. If you say like, oh, it keeps me up at night, that's probably one of those things that I would say that safety does that. And even when we do everything right, there's still nothing that says that person can't fall, even when all the boxes are checked, so it's, that's the one thing that makes me nervous about franchising, is like, honestly, the safety side, is making sure we have that dialed before I feel comfortable giving someone a platform to go do it on their own. So, I like what Coconut's doing on their franchise model. And, that's something I would love to do in the future, is start franchising. I just don't want to set someone up for failure. So I want to make sure that, and I don't know really how to measure when that time is, or when we are ready to franchise. I don't know when that time's going to be. Nor do I know.
Good guys around you that'll help you
make
that decision.
Oh, dude, my crew's amazing, man. I wouldn't be able to do anything without them. Like, every guy is like, my one of my guys, Jose, told me the other day, he's like, dude, I finally got to take my girlfriend out to like a nice dinner. He's like, that's the first time I've been able to do that in a couple of years. And I'm like, dude, like, stuff like that it's the small wins from them that is like a bigger win for me, if that makes sense. I just like seeing them improve in their personal life, and the business is just a reflection of that. Like, if they can show up happy to a job and ready to serve that client, even if we do mess up or we do a great job, the way they make that client feel is going to go further. But that all starts with how they feel personally. So, and I've had the days where I'm like forcing a smile on my face. Like, we all have those days, but yeah, as long as that client knows you're genuine and you're there for them, then it makes everything else a little bit easier. And even when you do mess up, because they know that you have their back, rather than being like, oh, like, sayonara, help you figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, franchising is one of those things. So I go back and forth on like just staying as big as we can, and then having branches. But I kind of like the franchise model. I don't know when we're going to be ready to, like, I don't really know what KPIs at that point, what we need to hit in order to say, okay, like, we're ready to franchise. So that's one thing when we do start, not to say I'm not thinking about it, but when we get more serious about it, I'll probably have someone come on and be like, hey, like, let's get this thing to the next level. Our goal this year is to break 7 figures, which we are on track for. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna hit $1 billion this year, but that's my biggest goal this year, is hitting that and staying profitable. And then continue, because we've more than doubled every single year now, which has been crazy. And we're going to triple this year. Even if we come up short of $1 million, we'll still triple from what we did last year. So, yeah, it's been a journey, man. But I think, just really staying focused, like what you said with other services, like just staying dialed on what we do and what we do good and making sure. So that's switching topics on my day-to-day with your AI. That's one thing I struggle with. Like, I have a pretty good morning regimen and stuff like that. I do 75 hard once or twice a year, because that's the only way I feel like dialed. However, it's hard for me sometimes when I have my day planned and then like fires happen, so it's like, okay, well, now that just threw me off course. So I think that's where I struggle on having like a day-to-day calendar. Because I'll try to build my calendar the night before, or even the morning of, like, hey, this is my power list for the day or whatever. But I do struggle with that sometimes, because like, and I'm obviously, you guys have both dealt with it, but having that one phone call away from being it, like, now that day takes up, that phone call takes up the rest of the day,
Goes up the whole day.
So stuff like that, I struggle with for sure. And I've made calendars, I've stuck with them for a few weeks, and then I end up kind of falling back into, what's the core things I got to get done today. But even then, sometimes it gets thrown off track. So, I think AI could really help me on that end too, like what you use it for. But
yeah, dude, no, it definitely could. And I would just, we'll wrap up with this, but I think, you're talking about, like, putting out fires or things happening during the day throws your day off. I think that, look, of course that's going to happen. Yes. But I think you have to challenge your thinking of, is that really as big of a fire as you think it is. You have so much pride in your business and you care about it so much. I get it. But if you're constantly letting those things bring you down, you're never going to be able to get yourself where you need to be to move to the next. And then it's setting up systems with the team. Like, hey, here's 1, 2, 3 tier. Like, if it's this, whatever it's called, 5-alarm fire. Okay, hit me up. If it's not, like, this is a time where I got my, I need my focus time to help us build this thing so that you guys continue to get jobs and we continue to work. It's just compartmentalizing your day as best you can. Of course, you're going to have the fires, dude, and sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid that. But I guarantee if you just challenged your thinking on that, like, what is an actual fire? Because, dude, we can make so much up in our brain. Like,
oh yeah, I go into like a mental loophole of
and it's like, is it, or is it that just what I'm making?
We all do.
Seem like?
I think the tiers, that's going to be my golden nugget out of the tier system on that, because my brother will call me sometimes. I'm like, dude, like, why did you call me for that? Like, I'm like, dude, I just had to walk out of a home. Like, why did you call me for that? He's like, well, I just wanted to let you know. I'm like, nah, dude, like, figure it out and then tell me after it's solved.
Yeah, create an escalation system.
Yeah.
That way it's like only
That's
a certain grade or level gets to you. And even at the end of the day, like, as long as it's at the end of the day, like, you're going to get to it. I mean, you can build something out where a homeowner, if someone says something or your team puts in a ticket or something like that, it automatically sends a ticket to the homeowner. Hey, we're going to get back to you in the next 24 hours. Like, we're going to take care of you. Like, but 100% what you're going through and what he's saying is the same thing that I struggle with, is just like constantly picking up the phone, constantly trying to put out fires because I care so much. And I don't want my business or my clients to look at me a certain type of way. And like, dude, that just affected my reputation. But he's right. I mean, if you don't focus on yourself and you don't focus on those things that are going to build you up and make you the leader that you need to be, like, your team is actually losing from that. Your customers are losing from that. Your business is too. So, I encourage the same thing. And
that's smart, man. I'm definitely gonna, that's actually, that's like my golden nugget, I think.
Yeah. The biggest thing to help with that, promise this is the last thing I'll say.
No, you're good. I'm in no rush, man.
Is setting the expectations for that. Set the expectations with your customer, set like, okay, right now we kind of got in an argument yesterday because he does. And I know he does. I know it's because just he cares so freaking much, which I love. And I do too, but I just have like 20 plus years on him of experience of dealing with things where it's like, yes, that is a big deal, but we have to look at, whereas you younger guys might like be looking at what's kind of right in front of you. I'm like, dude, I see what's around that corner. I've seen it. So I can just, that doesn't make me better, whatever. That's just experience.
Oh yeah.
And time is experience. But we had a client and, they've been pushed off a couple times, which is annoying, but it's freaking hot outside. Obviously you guys are dealing with that right now with your crews. It's like, we have to think about the safety of our guys and all that too. We've been pushing and he finally got a customer locked in yesterday. And then our crew that's handling that this morning at like 5 a.m. I get a call and they're like heat sickness, like jacked up, like gonna go to the hospital. And I'm just like, so it's like, we just got to set the expectation with the customer. This job wasn't like the biggest deal. So it's like, hey, look, this is kind of where we're at right now, and just setting the expectation with the customer. They're going to understand 9 times out of 10 if you're just real and honest with them. Like, hey, we like to get our guys out of the field by like 1 because it's freaking hot. We don't want anybody to get hurt and whatever. So there's ways around it. So it's just taking a step back and thinking about how I can challenge my thinking on, is this thing that I think is the world's going to melt right now? Is it? And how can I reframe it? How can I have a conversation with the stakeholders involved in it and, say it in a different way that they're just going to be like, yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, dude, they're going to freaking give us a bad review. They're going to this. And I mean, dude, there's ways around it. And look, sometimes it doesn't work. That 1 out of 10, they're just going to be like, screw you. You said you're going to be here. I'm leaving you a bad review. But it's life, dude. 1 bad review isn't going to be the end of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not. I mean, Walmart. Doesn't Walmart have like the most negative reviews of all time?
Apple.
Dude, the Pacific Ocean, if you look up there, like they have horrible reviews too. And it's like, dude, it's the ocean, man. Like I saw the video on that and
people are still
dude, seriously,
I'm pretty sure San Diego is still like the #1 destination in the U.S. for vacations.
Yeah, I saw literally a reel. It was like, you think you have bad reviews? Like, look at the Pacific Ocean. They have horrible reviews, and it's like the ocean, man. What are you gonna do? So I just thought that was funny. But yeah, to your point, I've been dealing a lot. Like, I think better with that is just understanding. Like, for example, sometimes I try to go out of town on the weekends, and I try to turn my phone not off, but like just put it away for a bit and I get in this mental, like, oh my gosh, is this client going to be okay? All this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, everything's gonna be fine. You know, the business isn't going to die in a day. Like everything's gonna be okay. And that's been more recent for me to kind of accept that, like, okay, not everything's gonna be perfect. My brother takes bad reviews a little harder than I do, because he's like actually at the house. He's like, dude, I did a good job. Like, I don't know what's wrong, you know, like, I'm like, dude, it's going to be okay. Let's just talk to them. Let's see what they're saying. And then we can figure it out, you know, or not even review side, but just a complaint, you know, like, hey, you guys were here, whatever the case is. But yeah, just understanding. I think that's been a mental shift for me recently, is just understanding, like, you will live to fight another day. like I had a really hard day a couple days, like when that thing happened with my brother and then the dog, like that was just, plus like I went like 1 for 5 on sales that day. So I was just down bad. And I was like, dude, we're not going to hit our goals this month, like all this stuff. And literally yesterday I went 4 for 5. So I'm like, okay, like now I'm good again. So I'm trying to stay in the middle on that mental roller coaster and not ride the highs too high. Like I learned that in solar, don't ride the highs too high and the lows too low, you know? But that's been a mental shift for me, is just understanding. And my fiance helps a lot with that too. She's like, it's going to be okay. Like, look what you guys have done. Like she sent me a photo yesterday, since it was our 3-year thing. She sent me a photo of like our original, like my first day on the job. And she's like, just take a moment and like, look at this photo. And, you know, and that kind of just helped me put everything aside and just like realize how grateful we are. And, you know, a lot of obviously work went into where we are now, but it helps me understand, like, okay, we're not behind, you know, even though I feel like every day, like, dude, if I'm not doing it, competition is, if I'm not working till 10, competition is, or like stuff like that, like always trying to have the upper edge on people, not necessarily for like we're better than them side, but just knowing that that's just how I am. I played sports growing up. Like I need to be at the top, or else I'm going to like not be good mentally, you know, like I got to do what I can to be the best. And that also helps me on our side. Like when one of my guys calls me, he's like, hey, like, is this okay like this? I'm like, no, dude, like you might have cut it out and redo it. Like that's not how we do things, you know? And not the conversation they want to hear, but at the end of the day, like our reputation's at stake. And if we let that slide on, if we let that slide on one job, who's to say it's not going to happen again?
100%.
And then it's only a matter of time until our whole reputation drops.
Yep.
So like there's little stuff like that. And but yeah, man. So
yeah, because if you hold the standard now and they continue to do that stuff after you corrected it, then like you're never gonna have to have that hard conversation of firing someone for something they didn't know that they did.
Yeah.
It's like they put the noose around their own neck, and hopefully you never get to that point, but putting those standards in place up front, that sets the tone for culture.
Yeah. And living the standard. I can't expect them to do something if I'm not living that way on my own. 100%. Like I make guys get to my house at a certain time in the morning. It's my house. If I walk outside 5 minutes late, then what's to say they can't be 5 minutes late, you know? So just showing them, if I'm going to preach something, I have to live it, you know? And that's why I'm big on them getting into the gym. I'm like, guys, like, it's not so much to look a certain way. It's just to make you feel a certain way. Like get in there, do your thing. And, you know, sometimes I'll like tell them, hey, like how many times you've worked out this week, just little stuff like that. Because if I can show that I'm doing it, then it's possible for them to do it. Yeah, and, just leading by example, and that for like lead from the front type of leader, rather than like being in the back, watching everyone do their thing. So
yeah, well, yeah. I'm a dad, so I look at a lot of things through that perspective. But, you know, one of the biggest things I've learned as a dad, and, you know, I've heard this from some of my mentors, and I'm sure you've heard it too, but I know now for sure, like how true it is leadership, like parenting, same thing really, is, you know, things are caught, not taught. So it's like, yeah, you can sit here and, hey, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. You know, for a kid, especially, it's in one ear, out the other. They're going to watch what you're doing, and that's what they're going to pick up on. So that's definitely important. But Rick, appreciate you coming out, dude.
Yeah. This was amazing, guys.
Where can people find you, and then where can people find Sunbros if they need your services? Yeah,
so on Google, you know, Sunbros Cleaning, Instagram, Sunbros Cleaning. My personal account is just Rick Elmer _ on pretty much all platforms. And then, yeah, please reach out. I'd be happy to share any knowledge that I have, or if you're a client, I'd love to help you guys out. So Rio, guys, this was great. Thank you for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
So